Call law, all praises unto YAHAWAH, BaHaSham, YAHAWASHI. This is Rayabya Ban Gad ZOI Church. And I want to go ahead and touch on this topic that I wanted to touch on for years. I would say going back to 2014, but now I have the full totality of what I can bring out. And it's been a minute since I wanted to touch on this topic, like I said, and I read an article last month that kind of piqued my interest to go ahead and touch on this as soon as I can. Dealing with the unicorn in the Bible, right? The unicorns in the Bible. All right, and we're going to prove that it's speaking on the rhinoceros. If I can get a pictorial, let me see. If I can go ahead and grab a pictogram, right, of what animal is talking about. It's talking about this animal right here. All right. Rhino. Talking about this animal right here. All right. And we're going to further prove, in this video, you're going to understand that the word unicorn, whenever you read it in the Bible, whether it be for a literal purpose or for a metaphorical purpose, it's speaking on this animal, or in particular this animal's ancestors or subspecies of this particular creature that you see, this bull, which you can classify it as a bullock. You're dealing with an animal with horns. You're dealing with an animal that's very aggressive, especially the ones in Africa. But they're all aggressive, if you ask me. But definitely the ones in Africa are very highly aggressive, and they're very powerful animals too. We're gonna deal with the scriptures, and we're gonna deal with some information on this creature, dealing with the unicorn, dealing with the rhinoceros. Okay. So actually, you know what? Let's deal with this. So, what should I bring out first? So let's go ahead and go here real quick. Let's deal with this. All right, and this out the BBC News. So, and I found another article too, and I'm gonna address that article as well. So, it says giant rhino fossils in China show new species was taller than a giraffe. A species of the ancient great rhino, among the largest mammals to walk on land, has been discovered in northwestern China. Researchers say the Parasaurolotherium lingzians, which lives some, and I guess that's the name, that's the Greek name of this animal. You know, they always put these Greekish names, classification on all these creatures, right? Which lives some 26.5 million years ago. Lies. Weighed 21 tons, the equivalent of 4 large African elephants. The hornless creature head could also reach 23 feet to graze treetops, making it taller than a giraffe. The new findings were concluded from the fossils discovered in Jinsus province, right? So, what's interesting about this, right? What's interesting about this is that it said, let's see. Is it up here? Actually, let me skip down. Let me skip down. Okay, right here. So it says Siberian. Uh, okay, it may not talk about that being the Siberian unicorn or whatever, but this piqued my interest about a ancient rhinoceros in the Far East. All right, dealing with China. Right, so let's deal with this article that I found as well. Uh, let's go here. It's off the BBC.com, and this came out in November 2018. But I ended up stumbling upon this article by random around the same time. So it says Siberian unicorn walked Earth with humans, right? Now, obviously, this creature, the way it's depicted in this pictogram or this picture that you see right here, uh, resembles a creature that would be attributed to the great ancestor of the rhinoceros. Okay. Now it says a giant rhino that may have been the origin of the unicorn myth survived until at least 39,000 years ago. More fabricated years added on. The years only been around for this earth has only been around for 12,000 years, okay? But I digress. Much longer than previously thought. Known as the Siberian unicorn, the animal had a long horn on its nose and roamed the grasslands of Eurasia. New evidence shows that the hefty beast may have eventually died out because it was such a picky eater. Scientists say knowing more about the animal's extinction could help save the remaining rhinos on the planet. All right. I believe in Eurasia, Siberia. That's in the Far East. But also, too, when you deal with the land of Mesopotamia, which is the Levant region, all right, as well as Israel, these creatures were roaming around, okay? So, rhinos are in particular danger of extinction because they're very, very picky about their habitat. Yeah, yeah. Okay, so point on that. That's the point right there. Okay. And the ironic thing about this creature is that it being the ancestor of the rhinoceros, right? This animal is depicted as Siberian unicorn, right? And and this is something that's very key because you have individuals out here who don't understand. You know, they'll go out here and they'll teach you that the unicorn horn is talking about the internet, or find some way out there bugged out ideology of what the word unicorn is when it's very clear what it is talking about. All right. Now, let's go ahead and go to the scriptures, and I'm gonna go ahead and go through what you know as certain dictionaries, right? So let's go through some of these scriptures real quick. All right. And like I said, these are going to be in reference to this creature, right? To this creature that you see on the screen right here, which is the ancestor of the beast that you know today as a rhinoceros. All right. Oh, I want to say that for a second. I'll pull that up. Just let me let's go. Yeah, let's go back here. Oh, yeah, let's go right here. That creature is the ancestor of this guy right here, or the species of this creature right here, known as the rhinoceros. Okay. Now, let's go ahead and go to certain scriptures. Now, when you type in the word unicorn, or when you go look up the word unicorn, it only comes up 9 times in the whole scriptures. And that includes the Apocrypha, because I try to find if unicorn is in the Apocrypha, if brothers can find that it can confirm it as well, confirm that as well. It's only in the Bible, including the Apocrypha, 9 times. We're going to go through some of these scriptures. We're going to go through all of them just to give you an understanding of why it's used as a metaphor, as well as literally speaking about a rhinoceros, but also in other scriptures, it's in reference to the rhinoceros. So we're in reference to the unicorn and why it's a rhinoceros, right? Now, let's deal with it. Numbers 23 and 22. Let's go there, right? And it says, God brought them out of Egypt. He hath as it were the strength of unicorn. All right. Because there's no enchantment against Jacob. All right. So that's just what the scripture is speaking on. All right. But point being, the Lord brought our people out of Egypt like the power and strength of a unicorn. Right. So that's one reference. Let's go to Numbers 24 and 20, Numbers chapter 24, verse 8. And it says, God brought forth Slakia. The Most High brought him forth out of Egypt. He hath, as it were the strength of an unicorn, shall eat up the nations, his enemies, and shall break their bones and pierce them through with his arrows. Right? So it's all in reference to the strength of the unicorn. That's something that's going to happen soon, when we destroy these nations who are our enemies, who are the enemies of the Most High, especially dealing with the elites of these nations. All right. So let's go back. Let's go back. This is all in reference to the strength of unicorns, right? Which other one can I go to? Let's go to Psalms 22 and 21. Save me from the lion's mouth, from thou hast heard me from the horns of the unicorn, right? And the horns of the unicorn is representing power, right? And also too, you could use horns as a way to blow horns, just like how we did with ram's horns and whatnot. But but it mainly referencing the strength and the power of the horn, right? Because it says, "For thou hast heard me from the horns of unicorn. I'll declare the name upon unto my brethren in the midst of the congregation. I will praise thee." Right? So that's what it's dealing with. So let's go back. Oh, I'm just gonna read off a couple. Let's see, Psalms 92 and 10. And it reads, "But my horn shalt thou exalt like the horn of a unicorn. I shall anoint with fresh oil." Right? Because the horn of the unicorn is obviously powerful. And it's while it's being referenced. Okay? So, let's see. Isaiah 34 and 7. And it says, "And the unicorn shall come down with them, and with the bullocks, with the bulls, and their land shall be soaked with blood, and their dust made fat with fatness." Now, this is all metaphorically speaking of, bullocks in terms of just being slaughter, dealing with Esau, Idumea, right? That's what it's dealing with. Now, let's go back. I'm just giving you a reference, right? Let's go ahead and go to Job 39 and 9. Job 39 and 9, because this gives you an actual reference of the unicorn, right? And, dealing with this creature. Now, Job 39:9. Will the unicorn be willing to serve thee, or abide by thy crib? Canst thou bind the unicorn with his bond in the furrow, or will he harrow the valleys after thee? Wilt thou trust him because his strength is great, or wilt thou leave thy labor to him? Wilt thou believe in him that he will bring home thy seed and gather it into thy barn? Right? And this is all in reference into what? A unicorn, an actual beast. When you deal with Job 39, it deals with in reference to all kinds of animals, man. All right. Now, let's and see, you keep seeing the reference of the strength of unicorn, right? In verse 9 it says the unicorn says, will the unicorn be willing to serve thee, or abide by thy crib, right? So I want to just bring out this one scripture. Actually, you know what? Let me bring out Deuteronomy 33:17. All right, real quick. And it says, his glories are like the firstling of his bullock, and his horns are like the horns of unicorns. With them shall they push the people together to the ends of the earth, and they are the 10,000 of Ephraim, and they are the thousands of Manasseh. And this dealing with Ephraim and Manasseh, right? And that's how you know that this is speaking of a rhinoceros, and obviously through the Spirit, the Most High understands, these creatures, right? Whether it be one horn or two horns or what have you, or the different subspecies of these creatures. We understand that the unicorn is dealing with the rhinoceros, and you're going to have the full totality of this later on in this video, right? But it tells you that the firstling of his bullock, so it's in reference of a bull-like type of creature, which is a rhinoceros, right? Which is a unicorn. And it shall push the people together through the ends of the earth. They are the 10,000 of Ephraim and the 1,000 of Manasseh, dealing with tribe of Ephraim and Manasseh, right? And this is talking about during the time when Ephraim and Manasseh led our people all the way from Assyria all the way to the Americas, okay? And Ephraim being the tribe of, the tribe of Ephraim being the so-called Puerto Ricans, and Manasseh being the so-called Cubans, Arawak Indians of today, all right? And it gives you the reference of the 10,000s of Ephraim, which is the heads of Ephraim being the longer horn, and the shorter horn being the thousands of Manasseh. It's in reference to that the horns of the unicorns, that bullock. All right. And this is in reference to this animal that you see right here. See that? Okay. Now. Oh. So now, I think that's all the scriptures I want to bring out. Let's deal with some actual prime examples of the strengths and powers of the unicorn, right? Now, which one can I use? I'm going to use like maybe one or two of these. Let's deal with this right here. Look at that. Playing pinball with the damn car, man. Whoever was in that damn car, man, he picked the wrong day to mess with a damn rhino. Look at this. The ostrich just looking at it, just chilling. Ain't our problem. Hey, he's still going. Look at this. Look at that. Okay. You see how aggressive and powerful this creature is, man. Pinballing a goddamn car, bro. The strength's a unicorn, man. Let's see.
We are Hibbett City Gear. For 75 years, we've been the destination for every...
So, watch this. It's the main Joker right here. Look at him.
No. Easy.
Okay. That's one. Yeah.
Stay ferma.
Look. Okay. Now you see the power, man. These animals will. The ferocity that these creatures will, man. It's no joke. I mean, look at this. I'll bring out one more. That's enough. I just wanted to show that. Or the example of what the scriptures are speaking on. All right? So you can be edified. Now let's go back. Now let's deal with this, right? Let's deal with some history on the unicorn, right? And because I'm gonna show this dictionary, and I'm also gonna show the ultimate dictionary that proves this point. So Merriam-Webster, it says unicorn, nothing is what it seems. Unicorns didn't always look like that. Poor Marco Polo, the 13th century Italian explorer, had finally gotten a glimpse of a unicorn. He was sorely disappointed. Their hair is like that of a buffalo, their feet like those of an elephant. In the middle of the forehead, they have a very large black horn. Their head is like that of a wild boar and is always carried bent to the ground. They delight in living in mire and mud and this hideous beast to look at. In no way like what we think and say in our countries. They live a beast that lets itself be taken in Yeah, in that whole Greek philosophy and ideology, man, it's garbage. All right, because that's what people would associate a unicorn with this, some fake, Greek character, right? Now, let's go down. Let's go down to some actual real information that actually matters. So skip it now. First things first, we can blame the Greek physician and historian Ctesias for the kernel in the ideal unicorn, as Margaret Beam Freeman reports the unicorn tapestries. Ctesias was the first person to write about the black horn animal. She wrote, my bad, she quote from this book, Indicia, written around 400 BCE. All right, let's skip down. Skip down to the meat of this bone. His early description gave the world the image of horse-like body with the white color and a single horn, and an image that would later be transformed into the medieval unicorn. And note the ankle bone, but it seems clear from the several of Saticia's statements that he actually had the Indian rhinoceros in mind, or perhaps someone's description of it. Saticia himself never visited India. The Indian rhinoceros and one other far eastern species are the only land animals with one horn. The species of African rhinoceros have two horns. Saticia mentions the pharmaceutical value of the horn from the Indian wild ass. Rhinoceros have suffered for centuries from the supposed value of their horns as aphrodisiacs and antidotes. He considered the wild ass very fleet and difficult to capture, and the Indian rhinoceros, despite its lumbering appearance, is swift. Its capture is both difficult and dangerous, but the Indian rhinoceros is a massive, ungainly body, stumpy legs, and a thick, folded hide that looks like plates of armor, with the exception of its single horn. It's profoundly unlike the length unicorn of medieval art, and one understand why Marco Polo wasn't exactly dazzled. All right. Let me skip down to this part where it says, because unicorn can also mean one horn, but there's different species of that creature that has that has two horns. You understand? But mainly the one horn that is spoken of is the main horn that they find as being the single horn. But continuing on, when scholars were translating the Bible Old Testament from Hebrew to Greek in 3rd century BCE, they encountered a mysteriously named animal. The Hebrew word for this creature was Re'im, which is Ra'am in the Paleo Hebrew, and the beast was evidently large and powerful in Job 39. I already read through that. Although our modern view of the creature referred to here is quite different, ancient scholars had come up with a Greek word for it. So, drawing a garbled description of the rhinoceros, they settled on the Greek word monokoros, meaning one horn. Monokoros had already been used by some writers for the Indian rhinoceros. The Latin version of the Bible turned this word into unicornus, which in English is unicorn. See? So that's where you get the word unicorn from for that animal. All right? In the Bible. Let me skip down a couple paragraphs to get to the point. All right? Well, that was the point that was made right there. The one that I was reading through right here. Okay? So let me go ahead and let's get out of here. Let me go ahead and go to this right here. Now you can go ahead and you can also for yourself download this dictionary, Noah Webster 1828 dictionary, because I just read the Merriam-Webster dictionary history on that word, unicorn. Right now, Noah's Webster 1828 dictionary. This is a dictionary to use for like certain words in the Bible that you may not understand. Right now, that you may have a different understanding on if you understand the definition, because they were started to change definitions back in the 1800s. But when you get these older books, it'll tell you what the actual definitions are. All right, to these words. Now, so understand that Noah's Webster 1828 dictionary. You can download this or you can utilize it online. Now, this is it online. Now, let's deal with the word unicorn. All right. Because we read the history of Merriam-Webster, and you can use this as a tool for your teachings or for your own edification and understanding. Unicorn, Latin unicornis, unos, one, cornus. So it's dealing with one horn. That's what unicorn means, right? So first definition, an animal with one horn, the Rhinoceros, right? Because in India and the Far East, and that particular rhinoceros species that we saw in the very first article I saw had one horn. But even in the scriptures, the Lord, through the spirit of through the spirit, also spoke through Moses, to talk about how Ephraim and Manasseh will be likened unto a unicorn horn leading the 12 tribe or the 10 tribes of the northern kingdom to the Americas, like a unicorn, in referencing the two horns, because there was a two horn species of the rhinoceros, not just a one horn. All right, but the one horn was the one that was more seen over there in India and also over there in the Far East, which is also not too far where from the Levant region is at. All right, so to give you edification on that aspect. All right, so the Manasseh, this name is often applied to the rhinoceros. Okay, also often applied to the rhinoceros. And the second definition is null and void because it's not applying here. So this is where what the word unicorn, or what the creature, the unicorn, is in the Bible. It's dealing with this creature right here and its particular ancestor. You understand? We're dealing with this joker right here, and it's dealing with this guy right here as well. We deal with what is it? Was it Deuteronomy 33 and 17? So there are different Bible versions that actually have that, right? Actually have that. And I'll go to Job. My bad. You have certain Bible verses that actually have the word rhinoceros there instead of unicorn. So let's deal with this. So Job 39 and 10. Let's deal with this. So Job 39 and 10. So this is the AKJV. AKJV. It says, "Can you bind the unicorn with his bond in the furrows, or harrow the valleys after you?" Right? So that's one version. Let's deal with this version right here. The CPDV version. Let's deal with this one right here. "Can you detain the rhinoceros with your harness to plow for you? And will he loosen the soil of the furrows behind you?" Darby has the buffalo, right? But the DRC version says, "Canst thou bind the rhinoceros with thy thong to plow, or will he break the clouds of the valleys after thee?" Okay? To the Geneva Bible. Okay? This came before the 1611 Bible. All right? "Canst thou bind..." Oh. "Canst thou..." My bad. "Canst thou bind the unicorn with his bonds? His bond to labor in the furrow, or will he plow the valleys after thee?" See? And the KJV version is talking about the unicorn. But in these particular versions, it's talking about I guess it's talking about a unicorn as well. Salakia, my bad, I misread that. But you saw in this but you see clearly in certain versions, the word rhinoceros is there instead of unicorn. Okay, so that's just giving you an edification on what the word unicorn is referencing in the Bible. It's referencing this guy right here, right? And his particular ancestor dealing with the rhino. And ironically, you see Siberian unicorn. Okay. So just for you to know that the unicorn is speaking on a rhinoceros species. So with that said, this Rayabya Ban Gad, the Zealots of Israel camp, I want to say HALAL, YAHAWAH, SHAM, YAHAWASHI. Much love to you, sincere brothers and sisters in the truth, and you priests, prophets, and elders, sincerely in the truth, doing the work of the Heavenly Father, through the name of the Son, Yahawashi. That said, this Rayabya Ban Gad, Shalom.